So, we had an election last month in November. Of course, Valerie Plante being reelected. But one of the things, other than the results, that was of note was the low voter turnout. Not a lot of people showed up to vote. The opposition at City Hall, they want some answers as to why there was such a low turnout. They're going to be proposing a motion, I believe it's on December 20th, to meet with election officials to go over some of the decisions that were made in the run-up to the election. It's our pleasure to welcome Sonny Moroz onto the program, newly elected district city councillor in Snowdon. Sonny, welcome to the show.
Hi, Elias. How are you?
I'm doing well. First things first, congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much. And I just want to take a moment to thank my biggest fan, who's one of your fans, too. My mom, Jill's listening, and she told me to start this way.
Amazing. Hey, let me start this way. Before we get into the news item here and what's going to be proposed at City Council here, I need to ask you, how does it feel taking over for a spot that was held by Marvin Rotrand, I think, since the dinosaurs roamed the earth? He was there for a long time, and now you've taken over him. How's that feel?
Well, taking over, he retired, and I've been working in politics for 9 years, and I was proud to run in Snowdon, and it's about getting the votes, really. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I'm very proud of the people of Snowdon to have selected me as their representative, and I want to do them proud, and I'm going to definitely come back at some time and talk about Marvin's legacy and what he's brought to the city of Montreal, but I think I only have about 7 to 10 minutes, so I really want to talk about democratic legitimacy and
Well, okay,
motion we've got.
Okay, so listen, just how you put it, democratic legitimacy here, right? I mean, that's a pretty stark way of putting this. Is that what you feel like, that this is a question of democratic legitimacy?
Well, what happens when nobody votes? Other people start making decisions for you, whether it's bureaucrats or higher levels of government. So when voter turnout really is the basis of democratic legitimacy, and if we keep going down, other people might start taking, decisions for us. So I think it's about time that we find out why the voter turnout keeps going down in the city of Montreal. Is it too complicated? Are we not sending out the right information? Do we need to train our staff better? Do elected officials need to do better? So, overall, I hope that this doesn't get taken as an attack against one person or against one administration or against the bureaucrats or anybody. It's about democratic legitimacy, and I hope the administration sees value in it.
December 20th, the council meeting, you and the opposition are going to be proposing a motion. What's the motion say?
Well, I'm a young man. I'm 31 years old. I got elected for the first time. And when my new leader, Aref Salem, asked me what I wanted to do, I said democratic participation is one of the things I really care about because it's where everything starts. So this motion says two things. One is a plenary session, which is a public meeting at City Hall for elected officials to question Election Montreal staff about their decisions. We want to know why decisions were taken. We want to understand better some of the decisions taken during the election, before the election. Some of the main decisions that we heard about, we knew about during the election period. We probably could have course corrected before the BVO, which is the election day, about the letters that people received in the mail to the occupant. And to any individual who's ever received a letter like that, it's not necessarily addressed to you. It's just sent to everybody. So I would say a significant percentage of the people just threw it out or left it aside or didn't think it was urgent and didn't have voter information in it, which is the opposite of what that letter should be. Mm-hmm. And those decisions were taken by people. So if you look at the exact, the federal election, we received postcards. They weren't in envelopes. They weren't to the occupant. They had the information clearly shown on the front so that people can see it, understand what it is, and interpret it as their democratic information. So that's just one decision. But then when you go to other, again, decisions taken by Election Montreal staff, we just want to better understand how were the staff trained. We have reports about, people not showing up on election day, not showing up to work. And then that leading to other problems during the democratic participation process. And there's other anomalies. I met with the other elected officials in Montreal. I asked them, what experiences did you go through? And I collected a whole bunch of them, and we put them into the motion to make sure that people understand that it's not just about attacking the administration. It's not about the Plante administration. It's about any administration coming in, not having the legitimacy to lead and take decisions on behalf of the city council that I'm now a part of. So that's the first part. The second part is requesting an independent study. So again, we don't want individuals whose jobs, they interpreted the law, they did their jobs properly, but there's always ways to do things better. So an independent study by an independent organization like Apathy is Boring, which is based in Montreal, or Samara Democratic Institute for Democracy, those are two nationally recognized Canadian institutions that would probably take on an independent study if asked and mandated by the City of Montreal. So that's the two parts of the motion, and I'm really looking forward to, hearing from Projet Montréal elected officials as well as from other elected officials the questions that we have for the staff so that we can improve on things.
Yeah.
38% is not something to hang your hat on. And if this is the low water mark, let's start rising the tide with good questions and good intentions.
We're with Sonny Moroz, newly elected city councillor in the Snowdon district, and we're talking about voter turnout and a motion that will be proposed at the next city council meeting on December 20th. Now, Sonny, you mentioned the mailer that went out in the envelope to the occupant, right? I saw this, and when that mailer went out, I saw people complaining about how it was set up, and I looked at it and I said, "Yep, this is just a bad decision made by someone." It's like they probably weren't thinking about how there would be ramifications to just that little simple thing. But of course, there's a consequence to that. Just want to ask you: do you think anything nefarious went on? Do you think there were any decisions made to keep people from voting, or do you just think good intentions sometimes don't work out?
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think there's anything nefarious. I've spoken to Election Montreal staff before on many occasions. I've been involved for 9 years in politics. I love this stuff. And it's always putting one thing over another, emphasizing one important thing over another. And if you don't, think about the entirety of populations, then you often lead to decisions that only benefit a certain group of people. So if you're somebody who's very busy and you don't check all your mail, or maybe you get a lot more bills than you do other things in the mail, maybe you ignore them. So I went door knocking. I spoke to 7,000 people during the election. And when you go into apartment buildings, every single apartment building would have a to the occupant mailer above where the community mailboxes are. And that's somebody who didn't get their information. That's in every apartment building. And I hate to skew it this way, but I see it this way. Other decisions taken. There were 27 polling locations in the 3 electoral districts in Côte-Neige. That's Darlington, Snowdon, and Côte-Neige. There's 3 of them. 27 polling locations in 2017, 16 in 2021. Now, that's 11 you've lost. That means every single person who lost their polling district in their area had to walk further to an area they don't usually go towards. And every study I've ever seen always points to concentric circles away from the voting location. And the closer you are to the voting location, the more like you just see more signs.
There, Sonny, Sonny, I just want to say, there, we know the reason there was they just couldn't find bodies. They couldn't find people to run the locations. Is that what happened there?
No, that falls to the local district person responsible in Côte-Neige who needed to reach out to local institutions and book rooms. And I just don't think that there were creative decisions made when they saw that there was a lack of voting locations. It wasn't the case across the whole island of Montreal.
Sonny,
and I haven't done a study about where those, had higher turnout versus lower turnout. But in the areas that were poorer in my district, they lost their polling location. So
now, do you December 20th? You think this could have broad support? You think the other side of the city council will say, "Hey, we should do this"? How do you think that's going to go? Your motion?
You never know. This is my first motion at City Hall, and I'm taking democratic participation at face value as an issue, and I have the support of every single one of the councillors in Montreal, and I'm very proud of that. And I don't know all the ways. Maybe I should be calling Projet Montréal councillors right now and explaining this issue too, but I hope they're listening, and I hope they understand that this doesn't come from a place of finding the culprit out and trying to blame somebody, but it's just improving for next time. If participation rates were 20% higher at the federal level than were at the municipal level, maybe we can learn things from them. Maybe we can apply certain things. Maybe we can have mail-in voting. Maybe we can have the ability for people, if they forget their ID on the election day, they can register on the spot. There's certain things the municipal don't do that the federal does, and that other jurisdictions have started to use.
Yeah, and I heard those stories, by the way, Sonny. People that tried to vote and they couldn't because of that issue. Sonny, listen, we're out of time here. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for your time, and have a great day.
And what's your mom's name again, Sonny?
Her name's Jill. She's
Joe,
awesome.
Joe, and to Joe listening.
Jill.
Jill. Oh, Jill, you're listening. I love you so much, Jill. Thank you for listening as well. You got a good son. Sonny Moroz, newly elected city councillor for the Snowdon district, on the program this morning.